You are listening to one of the most prolific podcasts. I'm Caleb.
It's your boy DT.
And I'm Ken.
We are the Mind Report.
Here to push your mind and change your thoughts.
Oh, man. I'm so happy to be here today with y'all. I'm in full gratitude. Y'all got to understand that every episode we here to push our mind, change our thoughts. It's really a blessing for us to even be able to share our thoughts with y'all and for y'all to actually tune in. I think we had 1,000 views now.
Man, been getting a lot of good feedback.
Right, a lot of good feedback. And it's a true blessing. It's a true honor to even be in a position to even be able to change our paradigm, shift y'all minds, man. I'm your host, Ken.
I'm DT.
And I'm Caleb.
DT, I want to ask you, bro, what's the thought of the day?
We're going to be talking about fear. I know a lot of us have fear. Fear is something that we all dealt with some part of our life. You either going to forget everything and run or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And I know all of us have heard that statement before.
Yes, sir.
So being afraid of something pretty much hasn't even happened yet or may never happen is based on your past thoughts, your beliefs, or your conditioning. Today, we are going to change that. I got a quick question for you fellas.
Come on.
What was one time that you had a great fear of something and how did you overcome it?
I was always afraid of roller coasters. I think roller coasters is a big fear of mine. I think what you just said in the beginning to your past thoughts, I think I always had a negative thought about roller coasters. Like, I always had a fear of just falling off of the roller coaster. So for me to put my thoughts to the side, for me to overcome that fear, I just had to go ahead and just jump on at it. I just faced it head on, and then I actually tried it out, and it wasn't really that bad. That's one time for me I forgot over my fears.
One of my biggest fears was dealing with dogs. I couldn't stand dogs. It was just them on 4 legs, and then, the teeth, and it was just a lot going on with dogs. And so my auntie hadn't got a dog one day, and for the longest, I stopped going over there. And then I think it was like Thanksgiving done at her house. My cousin dared me to come in the back and play with the dogs. I overcame that fear. I went back there, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. That's one time I had to overcome a fear.
It's so crazy that you said that. I got a story that I'm going to share later on, but I ain't going to sprinkle it on y'all right now. But one time that I overcame my fear was, I think I talked about this in a previous episode. It was just standing up talking in front of people.
Right.
It's a lot that come with talking in front of people.
A lot.
And the only thing that's coming through your head in the midst of you doing is, what do the other people think of me?
Right.
I gave my first presentation. Couldn't say nothing because my mind had already set down.
Yeah.
So it was like, what am I doing up here? I thought I actually went through with it.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that bad.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah, I think for me, it was just the fear of making a mistake, which I know a lot of us have a fear of making mistakes and just messing up and not doing it perfectly. Then I remembered that failure is a part of learning. It's all a part of learning. Without failure and learning, we would never be able to progress and do greater things. Failure is just the tuition that we pay for gaining experience. I don't think y'all heard that. Failure is just the tuition that we pay for gaining experience. If you want to go after anything in life, you have to be able to step out. And I know for a fact, when I was doing it, this is something that I want to do because it's impacting others by all the information that I done grabbed over the years. Right. I know I had to overcome that fear and actually step into it. We all learn from mistakes. We all do. But you can never get to your future if you always backtrack. Eventually, you will have to face it. If you want to succeed, just fail your way to success.
Yes, sir. I think a lot of people don't realize that whatever you focus on becomes your reality. When it comes to fear, if you focus on that, whatever you fear actually becomes your reality. So that explains why you'll always hear me say, I focus on and I pay attention to the right shit and not the wrong shit. And in the case of life, the right thing to focus on is your dreams, your success, your vision, and your goals. When you focus on that, that's what becomes your reality.
Right.
I know for a fact that fear is going to always be there, and that's fine. Some things you can't control, and the existence of fear is one of those things. However, what you can control is the fear taking over your life. You're always going to have that voice in your head telling you no. You always going to have that second thought. It's always going to be there, but what's in your control is allowing it to control you.
Right.
So I got a question for y'all. Where do you feel fear within people come from?
I think conditioning. Some of the fears that we have is basically brought on us by our parent. I know that all of us have pretty much heard, don't do that, be careful.
Right.
If you do that, you're going to get a spanking. Play it safe.
Right.
All these are fears that we've heard over time, and it just play over and over and over in our head. We are creatures of repetition. Right. Whatever you hear over and over and over again, you start to adopt it as your own. Yeah. I think that fear is some kind of conditioning that we have. It really has no place in our heart, and it's basically ejected out through our thoughts. It's just basically condition.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's conditioned too. A lot of people react off of fear and off the negativity that comes with fear. So I think fear is definitely conditioned. It's definitely brought down to us. And you go through life and you talk about the things that you don't want, you put all your focus to it, and it becomes your reality.
I would say I agree with both of y'all. It's conditioning and also fearing the unknown. But I also think that people pay too much attention to the details that can possibly happen within the process. And I say that could possibly happen because most times you feel something you haven't experienced yet. You don't want to do this because what others may think, like DT said, you feel opinions, or you don't want to run a race because you heard that one of the opponents was fast. But whole time you faster than them. You feel taking the test because it's time and you don't want to run out of time and end up failing the test. But when you start taking the test and you actually take the test, like, you beat the clock. I feel like people pay too much attention to the small details. That shit turns into something negative and something that could be. And then, like, in reality, the shit may not even be what it seems to be.
I feel like fear is a mind counsel. If you keep feeding it negativity over time with things that you don't want, then over time it starts to eat away at you.
Right.
But you have to be able to feed it something positive to overcome that.
Right.
One thing that I do know that do overcome fear is action.
Yeah.
What kind of positive action are you putting towards the things that you want? If you're not putting any kind of action, then now it's like you straying away. You need to ask yourself, do I really want what I said I want?
Right.
Or do I really want to do what I said I was going to do? I think that fear should not be something that we let overcome us and kill our dreams. Like I said, fear is a cancer because it actually kills our dreams. A lot of people are actually living in fear.
Yeah.
There's one thing that we need to snap out of. And I guarantee you, after you get done listening to this episode, you're going to get out of it.
You know people that live in fear, they talk about, I'm going to wait when I get the money to do it. Or I'm going to wait until kids are out of school to do it. Take action. That's the biggest thing.
I feel like if you allow a fear or if you allow anything to stop you from doing what you say you want to do, the reality of it is you don't want to do it. If I really want to do some shit, it ain't nothing that, no fear, nothing that's going to stop me from doing it because I genuinely want to do it.
Right. You're going to do it regardless. Yeah, that's true.
I got a question for y'all. When it comes to fear, how do you react to it?
When it comes to fear, how I would react to it, I would ask myself a series of questions like, what's the worst that can happen if I do this? If it's not that bad, then I'm going to do it.
Right.
Or if it is bad, I'm still going to do it.
Right.
Because honestly, if I'm fearing it's something that's certain that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
This is going to push me to grow myself. Once you get on the other side of fear, it's growth there. If you're not willing to grow, then you need to stay exactly where you at. Stay home.
Right.
Reacting to fear, just take action. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you right now. If you out there right now, you listen to this and you have any kind of fear in your head about what it is that you want or what you want to do, just take action. That's the biggest reaction that you can do.
Yeah, I firmly believe with DT too, especially when he said like fear is like a cancer. It puts a limit to what your confidence can be, what you think you can do. So take action. Just like DT said, just take action for real. Anything that you want, you're going to do it regardless. You're not going to make any type of excuses, no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I ask myself a series of questions. Is it really something to fear? And if the answer to that question is yes, then why and what are you afraid of? And if I begin to hit myself with negative reasons or give myself negative scenarios, now I tune it out. It's not good enough to stop me. Nothing negative, no negative scenario is never good enough to stop me, and it shouldn't be good enough to stop anybody else. I've grown and I've disciplined myself to not focus on the negatives, and that itself falls under controlling your thoughts and not letting your negative thoughts control you. For those of you who aren't there yet, instead of giving yourself negative scenarios, switch the script a little bit. Think of the good that can come from a situation. It's all about your perspective and how you look at certain things. So for every bad thing, it got to be something good. For every negative, it got to be something positive. And you never really know how to turn out until you actually do it. More than likely, the scenarios are things that happen and won't happen anyway.
Listen, feel the fear, do it anyway.
Yeah, you gotta take action.
Like, never trust your fears because they don't know your strength.
I think the whole point too, facing your fears comes with growth. If you put fear behind everything you do, you'll never grow in life. You'll always be in the same position. You'll always get exactly what you've been thinking, which is nothing but negative shit. So you really got to check yourself for real and just face it. Any fear, just don't have fear behind everything you're doing. Just face it. Just face it and take action.
I'm sitting here thinking like, you really got to be strong-minded. If you let something that's not there, you come up with negative scenarios, which is stuff that hasn't happened. You allowed something to stop you from doing some shit you claim you want to do. That's a sign of weakness to me. You letting something that's invisible, something that's non-existent, like
you letting something non-existent and something that's not physically there, like like you're not a person, but you're stopping me. Like it's all in your mind though.
Mindset.
It's
all it is.
Exactly.
Mindset is everything.
Yeah, but you gotta have a lot of faith behind everything you do to put fear behind it.
Oh man, faith over fear. That just came up out of nowhere. It's either you gonna live in faith or you gonna live in fear. You can't live in both of them. They don't reside in the same goddamn house.
Exactly. On a whole nother side of town.
For real.
I got a story because I had heard Ken say this about dogs, right? So I don't know why Ken was fearing dogs, man. This is like one of the most boldest people that I know. But okay, we not even gonna get into that. But it was a story that I heard by Les Brown. I don't know the story word for word, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. So it was a young boy who was terrified of a dog that kept harassing him every single day when he walked home from school. As the boy would get close, the dog would start barking and growling at him. Ken, you can kind of resonate with that one, can't it?
That's right.
It would chase him down the block. After several days, this boy became fed up.
Right.
After a while, you become fed up. You like, hey, this is it. Like, I'm tired of being chased. He told himself, I'm going to carry a brick, a stick, or something and get that dog something to bark and growl about.
That's my dog right there.
Yeah, that's your dog.
That's my homeboy.
The next day, the young boy approached the house where the dog was, and he had a brick in his hand, about to hit this damn dog.
Right.
He was about to hit this dog because he just got tired. And I'm going to go away from the story a little bit. It come a time where you have to get mad at whatever it is that you not doing, and you have to face that head on. Let me jump back into the story. So he had a brick in his hand, about to get ready to hit this dog. As he came near to the dog, it started barking and growling again, the normal. It started to run towards the boy. This time, the boy decided to actually stand firm and hold his ground. As the dog got closer, he noticed that the dog didn't have any teeth. So you mean to tell me this dog that been chasing and growling and barking at me didn't have no teeth?
Right.
The dog didn't have no teeth. So he said no teeth. With the new discovery, the boy threw the brick down. He told the dog, get on up out of here, you gummy bear. So I want you to see the message behind this story. See, a lot of times in life, we run from dogs with no teeth. We are actually scared of things that really cannot hurt us. The imaginary things that Caleb and Ken was talking about.
Right.
It's a lot of imaginary things that we scared of that didn't even happen yet. The thought of what might happen is scarier than the actual reality of the thing. And I heard Winston Churchill say this: the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Break away from it right now. The fear you let build up in your mind is worse than the situation that actually exists. I got a question for you guys.
What's that?
Is fear taught or are we naturally born with it?
I would have to say a mix of both. It just come from conditioning. Don't do that, you're gonna fall and bump your head, or don't do that, you're gonna get a whooping and
you gonna fail in class.
Right. And I would say it's natural because a lot of times the shit we feel, it comes from us. It comes from us not wanting to end up a certain way. I would have to say it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, I would say I'll agree with you too. I think it's a mixture of both as well. As far as conditioning, we all get scared of things. Like, we're all born into fear. But those are two different type of fears. As you grow older, you know what fears you have to face and what fears is just unrealistic.
To me personally, I know good and well we weren't born with it. As kids, we are natural born risk takers. As you was crawling, you didn't want to hit that ground, so you had to get up on all fours. As you was walking, you know damn well if you fall while you walking, you going to get up and try again.
Right.
When you get done walking, you going to try to run. Now that process is to ride bikes. Same thing. Everything in life, you're going to fall. The thing is, are you going to get up? I can tell you that we was not born with it. It's just something that's been embedded in us. Over time, we started to lose that fearless mentality because of our surroundings. And I think we were saying this in one of our episodes about environment. Like, environment can also be the things that you hear, can be the things that you see, but it also can be people, and people are a big component. And then we start to accept it and adopt it as our own. These consistent fearful thoughts, it add up and live inside us and form all type of negative thoughts, which for most turns into inaction or procrastination. It puts you into this average paradigm, which leads you into setting a life that you are not passionate about living. A lot of us are actually settling, living a life that we don't love to live because of all the fear that we have of doing what we see in our imagination or what we could possibly dream. And I think that's a big problem with a lot of us. We work year after year or whatever the case might be. So if you listen to this right now, I totally understand where you're coming from, because we all breaking out of that paradigm, and it's no certain time that you can do it. You can start now, because so many of us are allowing fear to stop us from stepping out of our comfort zone, and the fear of failure to hold us back. And that's why we play so damn small. You never really build a life that you were meant to live, because you are allowing something to hold you back. And that something is a thought and an emotion, and it's called fear. It can only be dealt with by action. I heard something very empowering by Lisa Nichols. She said, I only got one life to live, and I'm going to ride it out till the wheels fall off. Like, you are really one decision away from changing your life forever. Do not wait until your back is against the wall to make that decision. Choose now by taking fearless steps in the right direction each and every day, and watch how your life change. If you do this, I guarantee you, 5 years from now, your life will be totally unrecognizable. I want everybody that's listening to this right now to say this with me. Fear will not stop me. I live without fear. I fear nothing but the mediocre life. I fear nothing but the average existence. I fear nothing but the unlived life. I choose to live free from fear, and I am in charge. Get out and face whatever it is that's holding you back right now. This is 2022, and too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Everything you ever want is on the other side of fear, but you have to be able to take that first goddamn step. So hopefully we added some type of value to your mind so you can go out there and check your thoughts. I'm DT.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Ken.
And we are the Mind Report, and we are out.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, make sure you share it with someone else.
And be on the lookout for new episodes. And make sure you subscribe now.
This is the Mind Report.
And we are out.